Hello, Spokane. I am an average civilian, a delivery driver, and I have some shit to talk. We are currently sitting at May 18th, 2020. Jay Inslee is supposed to speak tonight, likely going to phase 2 of our de-quarantine, whatever you want to call it, reopen Washington. And what bothers me about this whole phased reopening is I don't think we have solved the problem. I think the whole issue at hand is new cases, new hospitalizations, new deaths are still being recorded every day. And yet, I drive down the freeway and see signs that say, "Staying home is saving lives. Keep up the good work, Washington." And then we're reopening everything. Have we stopped coronavirus? Have we eliminated the spread? Are people no longer getting sick from this? No. Why are we in such a hurry to reopen everything? And this is where I feel the protesters coming in who are holding up signs, "Reopen Washington." It's not so bad. We can handle it, or whatever bullshit argument they're making, while maintaining their 6 feet distance at their protests, of course. It boggles my mind that we can be so hypocritical to have signs on our freeways about staying home is saving lives, and then on the other hand, we're reopening everything for people to start congregating at. All we're going to do is encourage the spread. We haven't beat coronavirus. It's still here. It's still running rampant throughout our city, our town, our zip codes. And I just can't really put my mind around why we think now is the time to reopen. Now, I'm sure everybody who is unessential, who has been put into quarantine, or I shouldn't even say quarantine, who has been told to stay home, is getting a little stir crazy. They want something to do. But this isn't the answer. I think from day one, we've gone about this completely wrong. And first of all, one of the biggest arguments I hear for reopening has to do with the economic impact this is having on our society. One of the things that bothers me the most about this argument are the people who are staying home, who are refusing calls from their employers to come back to work because they are making more money on unemployment than they were working full time. That's so ass backwards that it leaves me at a loss for words. How can you be making more money for not working? And then you have people like me who work full time, whose hours have been reduced. So, I'm making less money. My bills are the same. My living expenses, my power bill, my grocery expenditures, those haven't changed. I mean, granted, I'm making my own cutbacks, but I'm not seeing prices go down at all. And then I go on and, somebody had suggested claim partial unemployment. Sure. Because I could use the help. I don't make a lot of money. And reduced hours is having a devastating impact on me. I'm not trying to live luxuriously. I'm just trying to put food on my table and keep a roof over my head and the lights on. But I'm being denied by the state of Washington for excess earnings. What does that mean, excess earnings? You can afford to pay somebody more money than they were when they were actually paying taxes to stay at home. But then full-time workers who are still out and about making less money are getting no support whatsoever. You want to talk about the economic impact? That's one of the major factors that I think is wrong with this. You need to encourage people to start looking for other lines of work, especially in the essential category, which is where this all went wrong in the first place, in my opinion. We had such a broad definition of the word essential. I support the medical industry by blank. Fill in the blank. That's what makes you essential. Every doctor has a car that breaks down all the time. We need every garage in town open. Every takeout restaurant is providing lunches. I shouldn't even say takeout restaurant. It's just every restaurant you can think of is providing takeout for those hardworking medical workers. And that Americans can't cook, apparently. So everything needs to stay open. You can't eat in our lobby, but you can come wait in line inside our lobby. Don't worry. I'm sure that has, I'm sure no spread whatsoever from that, you know. So it's all these little bullshit stipulations that have been put in place to make simple-minded people feel better about stopping something that we haven't stopped yet. And I think this is where the capitalist system has unfortunately failed us. I don't want to make it sound like I'm anti-capitalist. Capitalism works. It's probably not the best system in the face of a global pandemic, though. And as a result, we're placing the almighty dollar ahead of American lives. Granted, sure, yeah, you can have those survivalist people out there who are like, that's the way it's always been. But I think this is the most blatant it's ever been. To have these new places, or I should say old places, reopen for congregation, allowing people in to encourage the spread of something we haven't beaten. Because we went half in, half out. We issued the stay at home. If you're not feeling well, go into quarantine. Nobody stayed home. Just drive around town. First of all, you'll find traffic still there. You'll look around at all those different cars and think, where are you going? And it's even more frustrating when I see the people we consider to be the vulnerable category to these type of things. They're still driving out and about, getting their lunch, getting their ice cream. Something I've seen. Stay at home, Washington. You're saving lives. No, unless you don't wanna. I saw a place it's pet grooming. Grand reopening. How is pet grooming essential right now? And I get it. I understand. You're a small business owner. You're making significantly less money right now. Like the rest of us, you're trying to do whatever you can to survive. But at what point does it become more important to make money than to save lives? I don't think we beat coronavirus. I don't think this pandemic is over. And I think by reopening and going into our next phase, get your phasers out, the next phase, we're going to see a resurgence. We're going to see more cases, and we're going to have to start all over again. And that's why I think we need to go about this differently. Now, I've heard rumors of a new economic stimulus package coming through the works. What I would like to see done personally, and sure, don't get me wrong, I'm sure this isn't going to work, but this is just in my mind, the thoughts I have that I would like to see is, let's just rip the Band-Aid off. Close it down for 2 weeks. Give people that economic stimulus package to survive that 2-week spread, sharpen the definition of what is essential and what isn't, and let's come out of those 2 weeks at a more rapid, accelerated pace of reopening than we're doing right now. Because we can't say that, I hate using that word reopening, because I don't think we actually closed. That's why we're still having all these new cases come up right now. It's still out there. And whether you adhere to the whole conspiracy theory that I've heard about how it's spreading or where it originated, all those different thoughts that are out there, I think that's not the important issue here. What's important is we have a deadly virus spreading easily throughout our communities, our neighborhoods, our businesses, and we're not doing the right things to stop it. But I digress. I'm just a simple, almost minimum wage employee with these type of thoughts. This is what I'm seeing from the front line, if you will. And am I the only one that feels this way? Am I the only one that thinks this way? I don't know. You can't really bring this type of topic up with people because gets dangerously close to those gray areas where your political stance begins to influence how you react to these matters at hand. And it's just, it could create a sense of division when unity is so important right now. So I don't know. That's all I have to say about this whole matter. It's just, I think I needed to say some things and get it out there, whether I'm the only one who sees it or not, or even hears this. It just feels good to actually talk about it without having to walk on the political correct eggshells that are surrounding this topic. So anyway, those are just my thoughts. It'll be interesting to see what Inslee says tonight. And if we go further, welcome to phase 2. Buckle down. It's going to get gnarly.